Hello, coding soldiers of Tab Nation. It's your boy Tom, and today we're going to be doing a video about, if you can't tell already from my screen, Bard, the Google version of ChatGPT, if you will. It's still in its experimental stages, so obviously at the time of recording this video versus you watching it a year from now, I'm sure a lot has changed. If anything drastic changes, I'll always do a follow-up video with the biggest changes that would be important to you. Today we're going to discuss a few things with Bard, just kind of its basic intro to it, a few functionalities that you can do with it, Chrome extension that goes along very well with it, along with let's try some AutoHotkey coding. Now on their website for Bard, kind of like their help page, there is a statement there that says that, hey, you can't use Bard for coding, which I find kind of interesting because I actually have used it for coding. It's not perfect. It's definitely not on the level of ChatGPT, but it is still in an experimental phase. And honestly, for it being an experimental, I found the code was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be, especially when they're making the statement of that it's not used for coding, but yet I was getting decent responses with it. So let's go ahead and do a quick intro, then we'll look at that other stuff with the coding and extensions and whatnot. So it's pretty laid out, a lot like ChatGPT. You got your prompt here where you can, ask it questions, whatnot. You can reset your chat here, which we'll see here in a minute. You got your activity. The one thing that's kind of weird with activity is it does open another page. I found that a little weird and whatnot, but down here you can see like all the different prompts of your history. It auto deletes after 18 months, but you can always change that to say, hey, delete after 3 months. Unfortunately, that is the lowest you can go. I don't know why you can't have like, a little bit different. So now it's going to save all that. Got it. Now it's going to delete anything that's older than 3 months, keep my catch there clean. FAQs just takes you once again to another page. I kind of don't like how it's doing this. It has a lot of the basic information here that people are asking. Updates, obviously, once again, we're going to open another page, and we're going to have basically every release and what has changed, so you can always read through that if you're curious. Help is basically kind of the same thing as FAQs, but this I like better because we're still on this screen, and from here you can actually search. So I like this one a lot better versus the FAQs. That kind of thing. And down at the bottom, very easy access. I'm surprised they didn't hide this away in like a settings page, but I'm glad they didn't. But you got light mode, I'm blind, and dark mode. I'm always a dark mode kind of guy. Let me know in the comments below. Are you a light person or a dark person? Minus your type of humor. Yeah. So let's do like a quick thing here. One thing I do want to point out that does make Bard a lot better than ChatGPT is that it actually can search the internet, where ChatGPT, its data, I think as recording this video, it only has data from the internet up to like 2021, I think like August or something. So you can't ask it something. For example, let's go to ChatGPT real quick and say, what is today's weather? It's going to spit out a response saying that it basically can't handle that question. See, I'm sorry, but, I don't have real-time data or access. Oh, here we go. It's September 2021. I was close. So it can't really, do that. But whereas Bard, I can sit there and ask the exact same question. What is today's weather? And it's actually going to be able to find that. And it says it even knows my location automatically because I have that turned on. The weather in Wilmington, Delaware today is cloudy with a high of 60 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 48 Fahrenheit. 0% chance of rain. So, hey, sounds like a good day. And I did double check this on AccuWeather, and it is pretty much spot on exactly what it is. So I'm not sure where they're pulling the data from, but comparing it to AccuWeather, it is on point. So that's what really sets Bard apart from ChatGPT, is that it can grab live data. So that is really nice. So yeah. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some other things we can do. So for example, we can say create a chart. So it can create charts, which is really cool. Comparing Batman versus Spider-Man. Let's see how this turns out. So we're asking it to create a chart. This is a thing that you can do in ChatGPT when you ask it to compare. It won't create a chart. It just gives you like a paragraph explaining the differences. But ChatGPT will actually generate a nice chart just like this. So this is cool. Real name. It's comparing Batman here, Spider-Man here. It even has something like their weight apparently. So this is really cool. Like it knew exactly what kind of information to put in this chart. Weaknesses, no superpowers. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I think money is a superpower. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Batman's superpower money, or is that not even a superpower? Kind of curious what you guys think. I think it's a superpower because he gets all the cool gadgets and stuff. Now let's talk about code. Let's ask it to write some code for us. Give me AutoHotkey code for a toggle. Something simple. Let's give it a simple one. Now, obviously, it's generating code. It's going to be a little slower than it was like with the chart, and boom. I mean, look at that. It's laid out very nicely. As first glance, I mean, this looks perfect. Looks great. It looks like functioning code. All I would have to do is change the message box to whatever action I want it to perform. Fine, I would expect that. And then it even gives you a little explanation here. Here's the code. It even tells you press F1 key, to toggle it on and off for message box. So it even explains it very quickly of what exactly it's doing and how to actually trigger it. The only thing I see that I think it's kind of missing for people who would be coding this way, usually if you're coding this way, it's because you don't really know much. So I kind of wish it would tell you how to actually save this code, copy and paste it into a text file, save it as a .ahk file. I kind of do wish it would kind of explain that a little bit better. You can also sit here and say, hey, this was a good response. That way you can learn over time. You can export the response, or you can also Google it. Speaking of Google, let's jump over to that. Here's an extension. Obviously, there's a lot more. If you guys want me to do a whole video where all I do is talk about like ChatGPT and Bard extensions, definitely hit the likes up. It lets me know what kind of videos you guys want to see. So I can do one of that where it's all about extensions. But I'm just going to do a quick one. This one's called Bard for search engines. I'll drop that in the description below as a link. I obviously have it already installed, but you would click here to install it. Once it's installed, you can actually click the icon up here. That will open it where you can change like the settings, like, hey, my, normal dark theme, automatic, all that kind of stuff. Preferably, I don't like automatic, so I'm actually going to switch to manual, and I'll show you what that does. So let's go ahead and jump over to Google, and let's Google what is AutoHotkeys. So, we're going to click enter. So it's going to do our normal, search. But as you see over here, I have asked ChatGPT for this query, but now I also have Bard right here. For some reason, it's saying I'm not signed in, so I got to do that real quick. That was kind of weird. Sometimes it has issues with staying logged in, but as you see, I didn't even have to refresh. It automatically detected that I had signed in, which is great. So now let's go ahead. Let's ask Bard. And it's basically going to read through, kind of get me a very basic paragraph or so. So there we go. Hey, AutoHotkeys is free open source scripting language for Microsoft Windows, yada, yada, yada. And as you see, it's got a pretty decent chat going on here. And then you can say continue to chat, in which case it's just going to throw you back over here. Compared to ChatGPT response, I click that. And as you see right away, it just had issues. Hello, how can I help you today? Well, give me the answer. Tell me what AutoHotkeys is. So as you see, there's a big difference in just how well Bard does with live data versus ChatGPT trying to use old data that's not really there anymore. Or up to date, whatever. So yeah, that's kind of really the big thing there. So yeah, this is a very basic intro to Bard. Like I said, I'll put some of these links in the description below. If you guys have any questions, want to see me expand in any certain way on this, definitely let me know in the comments below. And I'll probably do a follow-up video later on. I think I'm planning to do one where it's just a video all about extensions having to do with both Bard and ChatGPT and all the ones I find out there that are really useful. So if you have any ones, definitely let me know of some good extensions that you're using with either or. So that would be great. And I will see you all on the next one.